Mekhi was really upset that Cam was in the movie. Because, you know, Mekhi a real actor.
Real actor, yeah.
And he was like, man, why we got this rapper in here? We should have real actors playing these roles.
That ugly money. That ugly money. Yeah. Say it's that ugly money.
This is the Ugly Money Podcast. It's about the process of success. Everything between your first dollar, your first million. That's ugly money.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to yet another episode of the Ugly Money Podcast. I am your host, Ugly Money Nietzsche. This episode is being brought to you by Engorge Rejuvenation Tea, promoting erection to improve stamina, promote size, and boost libido. Make sure you go to engorge.com to get yours today. My special guest of the evening, Toronto, Canada's own. Freek Boi is here, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, my brother? I appreciate you making some time for us, man.
Great to be here.
Long way from home, long way from home.
Atlanta, the second home, though. I be here all the time.
Hey, man, look, you know what I'm saying? With a name like Freek Boi, Atlanta's the place for you to be, sir.
Yes, sir.
So first question of the evening, who was Freek Boi before Freek Boi became Freek Boi?
Man, I've been like this my whole life, really. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I ain't never changed. I always been like this. Just started rapping, you know, about when I was about 22, 23, started rapping, and Freek Boi became the name.
So how did you come up with the name Freek Boi?
Man, I didn't do it. I moved to Texas when I was younger.
Okay.
And I quickly had a little reputation. And I walked up. There was some people sitting on the part. I walked up. They talked about that. It's like Freaky Boy from Canada. And shit, they called me ST at the time, so it just turned into Freaky T.
Yeah.
I took some time off from music. And when I came back, the first song I did was called Freek Boi. And so we changed the name from Freaky T to Freek Boi. So
living life allowed you to coin your name.
Yeah, I only rap about what I know.
He had away with the ladies.
I mean, that's it.
So it is said that Nicki Minaj is the one that got away.
Yeah, that's when I first started, like, we didn't have no money. Somehow I got hooked up with Nicki and her management, and I wanted to do a feature with her. Okay. And I guess she was with Young Money, and they came to Toronto.
All right.
And they said, come get her, and she gonna come do the feature. And it was 5 bands. I didn't have 5 bands. So
you had a Nicki Minaj feature for 5
remember,
bands?
This when she first started, right?
Ooh, it's like mixtape Nicki.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just like first time she was with Young Money, and I just couldn't put it together, bro. You know what I'm saying? It was we wouldn't like that then, so I had to pass on. I missed it. Shit, obviously I wish I didn't.
You know what's crazy? I got an early Nicki Minaj story when I was promoting parties in Virginia. I never forget, shouts out Hopewell. I was in Hopewell, Virginia doing a party. They had brought Nicki Minaj in. And I remember she was booking for about $3,000.
Right.
And I wasn't paying much attention. They had me hosting the joint or whatever. And I was just like, man, you know, should I get a picture with him? I don't care. Right. You know what I'm saying? This is another rapper coming through. Totally was like sitting adjacent from Nicki Minaj the whole time and didn't get a picture.
I feel like, man, I did that a few times in my life. Pick something before they became a star.
Yeah.
And I mean, Nicki was one. You know what I'm saying? Like I picked her. I liked her. I liked the mixtape.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was gonna be this big, or else I would have found the money. But you know, 5 bands then was a little much.
You saw it before I did, because I ain't see it. Back then, it was like I Get Crazy Nicki Minaj.
Oh, really?
And like all the young college girls was into it, and I was just like, I don't get it. I don't get it, right? I don't get it. Yeah, then, 5 years later, she's like monumental or whatever. I'm like, man, I could have had a total Nicki Minaj picture to flex with or whatever. I did the same thing with Migos, though.
Really?
Bro, I had Takeoff and Quavo in Augusta, Georgia for $2,500.
Damn.
Because quick story, Coach K had hit me. I was on the radio then. And he wanted to he wanted me to start playing Versace. This is before Drake was on it. Bro.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, man, I'll work it in, da-da-da-da. So I'm working the record in. And so me and Coach K got agreement, you play the record, I'm gonna give you the show for $2,500. I'm like, Offset was locked up. I'm like, man, I'm playing the hell out of Versace. My program director come in like 2 days afterwards. He's like, hey, what's that Versace record you're playing? And I was like, oh, yeah, it's Mr. Migos. It's really hot in the streets. And he was like, you play it again, you're fired. Oh, God.
That's crazy.
He told me straight up, he was like, you play Migos Versace again, you're fired. And I was like, man, I ain't know what to tell Coach K. I ain't calling back. I ain't want to get cussed out. Right. Anyway, they did the show. And then I got cussed out by Coach K after. And I was like, hey, man, it's not my fault. My program never got to tripping. And then literally Drake jumps on the record like the next week, and it's in main rotation, and it becomes a huge record, huge record in the street. So that's my Migos story of the one that got away. So your first major feature that you actually did get off was Big Tuck.
Yeah, I'm being in Dallas, man, DSR, that was who everybody looked up to.
Yeah.
And Tuck was the man. Tom was the man. They were just about to, release their album. They just signed their deal with Universal.
Wow.
And the homie Big Ticket hooked it up with Tuck, and we did a record all the way that way. And it still go hard. That record still go hard to me. But it kind of got me in with DSR. I did some records with Tom.
Okay, yeah.
Tom, Tom is. That was my. He was to me the hardest one on the
Yes,
DSR.
sir.
But the real dude on DSR that I messed with was Big Tight.
Okay.
Because when I got to Texas, I wasn't really into screw music. I didn't really feel it. And the first
it's an acquired taste for sure.
Yeah, but the first tape that really hit me was Charlie Boy and Tight. And so someone gave me that, and I loved it, bro. And then me and Tight hooked up, and we did the mixtape together. And me and Tight good friends to this day.
Yeah.
So that the first feature with Tuck, we did a cool record, but what it really did was get me in with the DSR and
That's
with Tight.
dope. Now, what was it like working with him though? Like during that, how was that studio process?
I went in the studio with Tuck. With Tom, I was in the studio.
Yeah.
And Tom, he the kind of rapper I like. He exactly like he is in public.
Yeah.
He really like that.
Do Texas rappers sip lean as much as people thought they did back then?
I think so. I think so. Like, that wasn't really my scene.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really into the lean, but yeah, like I don't know anybody that didn't.
You don't know anybody that didn't.
That's
hard. So the double cup truck, they was really cupping it up. They was really.
Like I said, it wasn't my scene, so I wasn't really into it. But from what I remember, everybody,
Shouts out to Texas, man. I remember the first time I heard screw music. I think I was in San Antonio. I came for AIT, and I thought the radio was broke. Right. I remember going to the PX, buying a radio. I'm over here like, I want to see what's new on the radio. I just got out of basic training, hadn't heard nothing in 3-4 months. First time in Texas, and I turned the music on, and they screwed up. Mike John, who? Mike John. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong? And I'm hitting the radio like, yo, what's going on? Or whatever. So after about 5 minutes of hitting the radio, somebody coming like, what is you doing? And I'm like, bro, this radio messing up, man. This shit is dragging.
Right.
And it's like, nah, man, it's screwed.
And I was coming from Toronto, and the DJs did at that time where they were known for speeding shit up.
Oh, wow.
And so, you hit that screw, and I was like, what? And, so that's like the Texas genre, but then in Canada, they play a lot of reggae.
Yeah.
So to me, like, screw is the Texas reggae.
Yeah, okay.
It's like, and I didn't feel that first, but that Tight Charlie tape, that kind of changed me.
How did you adapt to the musical differences from Toronto to Texas?
It wasn't really an adaptation. That's what I always liked. The West Coast, down south, that's what I always felt. In Toronto at the time, it was a lot of New York music, and I didn't really feel that. It wasn't really speaking to me. It wasn't a life I was living. So, the Texas rap, the Pimp C, the UGK, that was what really, I felt. So when I moved to Texas, it was easy because that was kind of the life that I lived.
They say they do everything big in Texas. Is that true?
That's what everything big.
Everything's
big.
I remember seeing those cars with the big the tires with the things popping out. I don't know what they call. What they call Vogues. Yeah, the Swangers and Vogue. Yeah. And I seen a dude with a he popped his trunk, and his trunk had lights in it and had like all kinds of weird stuff. So they was really riding like that.
Man, I tell you what, we did a release party in Houston. Me and D-Raw for the single Ice Ice. We did that on Friday. And we went so big, man. It was NBA players trying to get in the section, text and say, what these dudes doing right now? But that's Texas. Do it real big.
Wow, man. Shouts out to Texas, man. One rapper from Texas that really did resonate with me was Mo3.
Yeah.
The pain in his voice, the way he put his stuff together with lyrics, but at the same time melodies.
Yeah.
So, did you have any Mo3 experiences while you were down there?
Yeah, and I don't want to talk about the politics of it, but just as a person, that's how I knew 3. I didn't know him from the north side or any of that stuff. I just knew him as a person, being in the studio, and his energy was incredible. To me, he sang better without the mic, without the sound effect, without the engineer. Like when he would be in the studio just freestyling, he'd be going off, and could just really sing, and it was real, like. Everything, he could freestyle everything. Wow. Like super talented. But, obviously there was some things going on in his life at the time. But he was super funny. Just like, you know, kind of like I could imagine like Tupac would have been to be around the studio. You know, like he was that kind of worker. He wanted to be in the studio all the time. When we did a record and then we were about to shoot the video. That's when that happened. But like I said, I don't get into that politics at all. We played the record a little bit in Dallas, and I mean it goes hard, and they like it. But I do too much on the other side, you know. So we hadn't really released it yet or anything like that.
But I mean, you can't just downplay the fact that you picked up a Mo3 record that no one's heard. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, and some Mo3 fans heard it and they love it. You know what I mean? It go hard.
I can only imagine.
It go hard. So I mean, we're gonna see what we can do with it. You know, obviously, it's some legal things that you got to take care of.
For sure.
But I mean, for me, the politics of it, I'm trying to stay on some, you know.
Yeah, positivity or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you know, the thing that I loved about Three's music was it seemed like it came from a very honest and sincere place, right?
Right.
And so, you know, I would hear certain records, and sometimes it was almost cryptic. Sometimes that he was actually like Tupac used to say, you know, kind of. I wouldn't say it's not welcoming death, but he talked about death a lot in his music.
I mean, he knew stuff was out there. You know, like when that night, you know, I was with him in the studio, left the studio, came back. He definitely knew something was out there. He was always ready. You know, he was always ready for it. And so, you know, I kind of questioned why he wasn't ready that day.
Wow.
Because, like I said, anytime I was with him, I knew he was ready. So, a little bit shocking.
Yeah. They definitely had. It's an unfortunate situation, and from the persona that we got from music and content or whatever, he seemed like a guy that was always going to be ready.
Yeah, he was.
you know,
me and Three, like, it was a funny story about Three was he didn't really have no ID. He'll get on flights for shows with his you know, without like a driver's license. You know, and
let him on.
You know, whatever he used some kind of, but he didn't have like a government ID. And he was like, I don't know. I was like, how you gonna come to Canada? How we gonna do something in Canada? It wasn't no way because he didn't have a passport, none of that. So that was just kind of how Three lived, bro.
Hey man,
from what I knew.
Long live Mo3, man.
Right.
He definitely one of my favorite Texas artists of all time. Just the melody, and it, like, he was lyrical, and he had melody. Like, he was a double threat.
And real as they came, to me, from what I knew.
Nah, you could tell he won't lie.
Yeah.
You could tell, like, you know, you could tell sometimes, like, boy, you ain't never did that. Like, you could tell Mo3 was saying,
right.
You know what I'm saying? He won't lie. And I had interviewed Charleston White a little while ago on my podcast, and he admitted to being a secret Mo3 fan. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it was, you know, it's just an unfortunate situation, and I just pray that people can learn to not pick up the gun. Man,
get money together. Like, let's just get money.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, outside of doing something to my kids or my family, what I want to pick up a gun and shoot you for?
Nah, in Canada, you know, it's tough to get a gun in Canada. It's a different world up there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people have them, and, you know, it's gun violence, but, you know, I don't even know. It'd be maybe 150 murders a year, 200 murders a year, and everybody go crazy on that. You know, you look at Chicago, it might be that in a month.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's some murders up there, but it's not like guns everywhere.
So what is it, knives and stuff?
Nah, I mean, you can get guns on the street, but you can't go to the store and buy a gun. Like, it's real tough to get a legal gun. But, you know, they be, you know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you can't have, like, I can't have a gun in the house, a registered gun in the house. You got to go through a whole process, so.
What if you want to go hunting?
I don't know. It's some you can go hunting. I live in the city, so there's no hunting. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying. You go in the country, you can get a hunting license, but like pistols, you can't go to store. There ain't no gun stores in Canada like that.
No gun stores.
Not like that, nah.
How is I mean, a lot of us wouldn't know, you know, what Canada really like. You know, we know Drake, and we know what the vantage point that Drake gives us is about Toronto. But what is Toronto really like?
Like super multicultural, big city, like any big city in America, just really multicultural. So, you know, if you see black people, it's mostly going to be West Indian, the West Indian culture, Jamaican culture, West Indian. A lot of Africans. It's going to be, you know, every culture in the world is going to be there. It's like a melting pot. Mm. And so the food is great. The parties are great. The women are beautiful. The city is, you know, it's a real nice city. For as many people it is, the violence is not great, but unfortunately in the hip hop community, it's still pretty prevalent, the violence.
You know, because like a place like South Beach, you know, when we think of Miami, we think like South Beach, and you know, vacation, tourists, the bright lights, you know, it's the popping spots. But of course, what a lot of people don't know is the other side of Miami, which, you know, Overtown and you know, in them trenches or whatever. Does Canada have another side?
Of course, and I don't do anything in Canada. I've done 2 videos in Canada, and both of them were a problem. So I don't do shows, I don't do nothing. I do everything like Atlanta, Texas. So the politics is so strong. So a rapper get a hot song, and next thing you know, he got problems. You know, if you look, like Drake tried to, you know, bring guys on tour with him, Pressa, Smoke. You know, they Smoke that they brought him on tour. They kind of became friends. Unfortunately, Smoke, he had a hit, and like the next week he was dead. You know, Houdini, same thing. So it seemed like when you get a hot record in Toronto, then the ops is gonna be a problem, and you're gonna have to leave, which is crazy.
So even in Canada and Toronto, they still kind of got that crabs in the bucket mentality.
Yeah, it's hoods everywhere. Yeah, and maybe even worse because it's so small and everybody know everybody, and everybody's jealous of everybody. Like I said, I don't know that from experience because I don't do anything out there. But you know, there's artists that I definitely want to work with that I'm like, I just don't want to get into their politics.
Who? What? So you're an artist, an actor, an activist, whatever you do. Come to the Ugly Money Podcast and tell your story. You can be a special invited guest by texting the number right here. Let's lock in your interview. Let's tell the world what you got going on. Over the past 90 days, we've gotten 30 million views on YouTube, 50 million views on social media sites. It's time for the world to know about you. So make sure you text this number so you can come on the Ugly Money Podcast. And you get to meet China too. It's that ugly money. That's crazy, man. Hey, look, man, sometimes you got to stay out the way.
Right. That's not my lane, so.
Yeah, for sure. Now, the first artist that I ever heard of from Toronto was a guy by the name of Cardinal Offshore.
Official.
Yeah,
OG.
So he's definitely the OG right there.
Yeah. I mean, he signed to Akon, you know, so he like super talented. And the reason why I think he never like made it in the States like that is because he rapped that Toronto stuff. And people in the States couldn't really relate to it because it was, you know, that West Indian culture. So I think he did great in Canada, great in Europe. But in the States, it didn't really cross over, and that's the genius of Drake, right? Drake has a father from Memphis, so it's already in his blood.
Yeah.
But he went to Houston and learned that, you know, lived in Houston. I mean, one of the realest things Drake has, the Houston, Atlanta, Vegas, right? Yeah, and so that changed Drake's whole perspective on, and what he did was he told that story. After he became big, then he went back and started talking his Toronto stuff, and he made Toronto stuff cool. When Cardinal was doing, people were like, what's this guy doing?
Yeah.
But then when Drake, like I said, he was accepted, and once he was accepted, then he can go back with his Toronto slang and all that stuff.
Cool. Now, you being from Toronto and moving to Texas, of course, there would be some Drake comparisons. Have you ever actually met Aubrey?
I mean, so we bumped into. So when we started out, we kind of started at the same time in Toronto, and I would say our crew was even a little ahead of him, you know, for a little bit. I did a record called Tip Spell with a dude named S. Davis, and S. Davis was the big star at the time. And then Drake had a song with Trey Songz and kind of started rolling. But still, S. Davis.
Was it Material Girl? What is it called?
I can't remember the name.
It was something Girl.
But it was hard.
Yeah, I remember that record.
And I remember the day my cousin told me, he said, this is dude Drake, he's going to be a star. And we heard, and you know, it went pretty fast. But I would see Drake out, you know, early because, you know, we were in the clubs and stuff. The first time I remember seeing him out, you know, when he started rolling a little bit, we were at this like private party, upscale private party, and it was, you know, kind of, you know, a bunch of people, important people there, and Drake walked in, and it wasn't too crowded, and his aura was like, oh shit, this is different. And he quickly got Melissa Ford and went over there, and they was talking and shit.
Hold on, Aubrey. He got some motion out here in these streets. Hold on. You said he got Melissa Ford. He had Melissa Ford with him?
I'm not saying she's from Toronto, right?
Okay.
They, you know, they was over there talking, but you could just feel the aura. It was different.
Yeah.
And so that was the first time. In 2013, I was doing a record with Charlie Boy called Southern Girls, and we changed the beat like last minute before we shot the video. We shot the video in South Beach. And we had finished everything mixing, and we had to go back in the studio, and Drake had taken the studio over by that time.
Okay.
So 2013, whatever album he was working on, he booked out the whole studio. And we had asked his permission to go back in, so he let us come back in and finish up what we needed to finish. And then when he was done, we went back in and finished the rest of the project. And he left some stuff, which was really cool. He left like a vision board. And we just saw it. We weren't going through his stuff. He was just out there in the studio, walked in. He had a vision board. And, bro, everything on that vision board came through. Like, he had, like, a Grammy. He had, like, one thing that was cool. He had Jim Jones up there, and he said swag. Wow. He had the Billboard. He had, he had Rihanna on there. It was everything. No. Everything. I wish I had taken a picture of that
Rihanna
board.
On there?
I wish I had taken a picture of that board because everything on that board came true.
That's crazy.
And he had it in the studio with him the whole time as he was doing that album.
That man, I've never heard no story like that. A rapper with a vision board.
Yeah.
And actually materialize that and turn it.
And Drake, everything I know, Drake team is real, real cool. Like I'm not gonna say I've been, but all my, my people go to his house.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them be with the NBA players, Drake be with them and stuff like that. And they, they all say he's real. Like, he goes in, he's just a real dude. But all his day ones are still there.
That's dope.
So I got a lot of respect for him.
Salute to Drake, man. Salute to Drake, man. That boy slid off with Melissa Ford real quick. I can't wait till I can do that. There goes Nietzsche. Is that Nietzsche? Oh, there goes Nietzsche with Ice Spice. Hold on. I'm gonna show him Munch, goddamn. Hey, so I still want to talk like early Drake. Like, so you knew Drake before the fame, before Young Money. What was Drake's buzz in the streets back then?
Nothing. Like, really, went from nothing. It went from 0 to 100 real quick. Like, literally. I'll tell you, S. Davis was ahead of him. Like, if he saw S. Davis, he'd be like, kind of fanny to S. Davis.
Oh, wow.
And then a month later, he was, huge with that Trey Songz. I tell you, my cousin called me and said, this dude Drake's going to be huge. And that Trey Songz was on the radio all day, and they just took off.
So it wasn't a situation where you just had this like monstrous street buzz and then
None.
he get signed. It was
Zero.
just basically like, it seemed like he left Toronto to kind of, because I know he was in Virginia with Trey, and I know some of the guys he was working with, because I'm from Virginia. He was working with Nicholas Fury and Trey and a bunch of other people. So he kind of left Toronto, came back with a hit record, and I remember seeing it on MySpace.
Yeah, crazy. And I mean, it was like it just came out of nowhere. He was a Degrassi dude, and I'd see him in the club, just regular, no security, just in the club. I think the early work, like he did mixtapes that never came out.
Wow.
I don't know. I never heard of it. I never heard it was any good or whatever. The first song I ever heard was Trey Songz record, and everything after that was great. It was no Miz stuff.
Man, that vision board is hard right there. Hey, all rappers, if y'all watching, we need to see the vision board in y'all studios. I might need to incorporate that, sir. That's hard right there.
Everything on it came true. Crazy.
I'm gonna put Cherokee the Ass on my vision board. Hey, that's an OG. Hey man, so you've had a lot of run-ins and bump-ins with a lot of influential and iconic people. Talk to me about like hanging out with AZ in Harlem.
Oh, that was so I've had a lot of luck. I worked on the Paid in Full movie when I was a kid.
That's crazy.
So it's really crazy because I was nothing on it. I was just like a PA, you know what I'm saying? And I was walking down the street and Cam was walking down the street because he had just got there and he was like, "Where the trees at?" I was like, "Oh shit." So I didn't even know who Cam was.
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying? Like New York, I didn't know New York rap like that. So I was like, I called my boy up and said, "This dude Camron wants some," and he was like, "Oh, Cam." So, we took care of Cam, then we became real close. So we hung out. 90% of that movie was filmed in Toronto. And so
they filmed Paid in Full in Toronto?
90% of it. Like we did 3 days in New York.
Things I learned today.
Yeah. So we went to we flew to New York and we were in Harlem and when we were doing those Harlem scenes and the real AZ showed up and he was I was with him. And it was crazy. The real AZ. And he came in and some police sirens came. AZ was gone. As soon as he heard the sirens, he gone through the store. I never saw him again.
Oh yeah, so he pulled up.
But I'm talking about all the scars, everything. You can see it all. From when he got shot in the head, all that stuff.
Wow. So he was coming to scope out the movie and then
he was like, I think he was a consultant on it.
Oh, that's dope.
He was a consultant, but he didn't come to Toronto, so it wasn't until we got to New York.
And even then, still when he heard the police.
As soon as he heard it, he was gone, bro. He was, I'm out. He went through the back of the store. I never saw him again.
So did you meet Jay?
Yeah.
See, man, you got one. Yeah. See, He just got Jay-Z's. Yeah, I ran met Jay-Z one time. You gotta tell me about that, sir.
Nah, it wasn't. I spent a lot of time. I spent a lot of time with Dame.
Okay, talk to me.
Dame was exactly like you think he was. You know, he was real cool.
So he's really
crazy. Like he would scream at the catering girls. He would scream at everybody. It didn't matter who it was. You know, and that was before Cam wasn't signed at Rockefeller. So he kind of brought Cam on. A funny story was Mekhi was really upset that Cam was in the movie. Because, you know, Mekhi a real actor.
Real actor, yeah.
And he was like, man, why we got this rapper in here? We should have real actors playing these roles. I think by the end he was cool because Cam killed it. But at first he was like, why Cam here? You know, he was mad. Like, and Cam was a hothead, right? So Cam is exactly what you thought Cam was at that age. That was Cam.
Flamboyant, cocky as hell.
Lots of girls. I mean, hey, weed wasn't legal, you know, in Canada at that time. And Cam, he'll smoke right beside the cop. He didn't care. Cam was a wild boy.
So wait a minute, Mekhi Phifer didn't want Camron on the movie at first.
I mean, at first it was a problem. Like, yeah, Mekhi was talking that shit, but I think it was cool.
Just to be a fly on the wall on that, like. Yeah,
but I'm saying, you know, Mekhi had a point. Like, this is his craft, right? Something he study and something he work on, and then this rapper just get this great role out of nowhere. But you know, Wood was funny because he was like a method actor. So he was like stuck in the 80s. We go out and he'd be in the 80s talking that 80s stuff. He stayed in character like as much as he could the whole time.
That's dedication.
Yeah, Cam didn't have to come out of character. I think he just played himself.
Like, here comes this rapper on the scene, or whatever. No, to be a fly on the wall on those kind of conversations or whatever, like Dame Dash being Dame Dash is.
Bro,
he seems like he's the type of guy that makes sure that everything is going right, and if it doesn't go right, he's going to yell.
Everything. But think about this though. Harvey Weinstein was also on that. So think about that. Think about who was there every day. Harvey Weinstein was there too.
And Dame don't like him.
They were friends. They were real
friends
cool.
back then, though, right? Yeah.
But Dame just wanted stuff the right way. Like he just wanted stuff, you know, to go that way.
And that's one thing that I noticed about him, and unfortunately it seems like it kind of backfired. It's like you have Dame Dash seemed like the guy that was going to fight for his artists and his people. Or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like he was gonna make sure, like, hey man, if this is wrong, I'm gonna say something, and I'm not gonna let y'all play with us. And I think sometimes, like in the industry, you know, they kind of shun him for that now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, he was a star. You know, like Dame was a star too.
Yeah,
it's kind of tough when the producer a star. You know, like when we go out and like Dame was a star. He acted like a star, wanted to be treated like a star.
Papa Tags.
Yeah. I got another funny story.
Yeah.
So Regina Hall. So I got.
Hold on. Bomb drop. Bomb drop.
So I'm just a kid. I got a crush on Regina Hall.
Don't we all?
Right. So she comes.
Hey, Regina.
So she come to the set like the first day, and we're talking. We're just sitting there talking. I'm like nervous and stuff, and we just talking And she was like, you know, what do you want to do when you get ready for your career? I said, man, I want to be a baseball player. And she said, oh, I used to play for the Cubs. And I said like this, I said, you did? And as soon as I said, I tried to grab that shit back. I was so embarrassed, bro. She started laughing. She said, no, of course I didn't play for the Cubs, you stupid. But I said this shit right away, man. I was real
while you're watching this movie just come into life, do you see and do you feel that it's going to be this cultural phenomenon that it became Paid in Full?
I mean, you probably couldn't see that, but like, it was lots of problems on the set. Like Alpo, we weren't happy about it, right? So he was talking a lot of shit. Like, you know, he was about to get released and all that. Like, it was some times on set where you were like, somebody might show up and do something here. Like, it wasn't, you know, not everybody was happy about that movie. But I think Dame did an incredible job of making it real. Like, I think he did an incredible job putting Cam in it. Like, you know, the director killed it. Charles killed it, and it was what it was. Like, all the acting was so good.
Nah, it was. I mean, we still enjoy it to this day or whatever. I can't say the same about Paid in Full 2, but Paid in Full 1,
right?
Paid in Full 1, Paid in Full.
You know, the director was Charles Stone, the What's Up guy. What's up?
Yeah,
he was the director.
Man, it's like a lot of freaking legendary shit in one spot or whatever. You can just be a fly on the wall for that. Nah, Mekhi Phifer having a problem with Cam being on set is funny, and I can only imagine Cam just didn't give a fuck.
Didn't give a fuck.
He over there living. And Dame's like, leave him alone. He's good.
Yep.
Like Cam
Didn't give a fuck.
Did he come to set late, or he had like a bunch of girls with him?
Yes, sir. Totally professional though.
Okay.
Totally professional. I remember we went out one night. We were in a club on Thursday night was a big night in Toronto. We all went out, and I got the baddest chick in the club for Cam.
Okay.
And I was like, Cam, this is my girl. Da 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 da. And he's like, what's up? And he just didn't really pay attention. Later in the night, he's like, Cam, what's up? Why you don't want to mess with her? He's like, oh, she can come when we leave.
Let's go, Cam.
That's good. How Cam was. But Cam always had girls, but he was professional. Always showed up on time, ready to work. Like no problem with the lines. You know what I'm saying? Like just a professional dude.
Being affiliated with Rockefeller back then is that you had to be on top of the world. I remember the first time that I met one of the diplomats was in Virginia, and Joel Santana came, and it was after a concert, and we were at the Virginia Union Gym Jam. And, we're all college kids or whatever, and everybody's in there. And I remember Joel's walked in with Freaky Zeke. And they walked in, it was like 10 people with them. And they walked in, went to the DJ booth. And Joel's gets on the mic, and he's like, hey, ladies, who want to party with the Dips? And he literally walked out, and it was 20 women that walked out with him.
Right.
And I was like, that's power.
Right.
Ugly money. He's like, ladies, who want to party with the Dips? And I'm sitting there, like the girl I'm dancing with, she's like, she just ran over there. And I'm like he took like half the chicks out the party, and they just left.
Yeah. Hey, that's the biggest thing I got from him was the
swag.
And
they showed back up on campus Monday with their hairs fucked up.
Right. Right.
You gotta love it.
But that's what separated him, right? Was the swag.
Yeah,
the confidence.
For sure.
That's what it was.
For sure. Yeah. And the fact that he knew that if he's been, I'm about to come in this college party and just say who want to party with the Dips. I don't know if rappers could do that these days. These women will try to, I'm not going for that. I ain't going for that. Keita, if 21 Savage came in here and said, who want to party with the Savages, is you following them out the door? See, she bullshit.
But what if I say, who want to party with these 5 bands? Who go follow me out the door? See, how'd I go?
Hey man, so staying in the lane of legendary experiences, you had a chance and opportunity to work with Darkchild.
Yeah, that was crazy. We were I was with him for probably 3-6 months every day, all day, and just getting to see his work ethic and everybody's work ethic, plus the artists that would come in to work.
So first and foremost, how did you get the relationship?
That was funny. So he was in Toronto. He was doing some stuff, and somebody asked me if I wanted to kind of work with him, and I didn't know who he was at all, and so we went in, and we didn't like each other at all at first, and I was like, I'm not coming back. But his team was like, you need to come back. You need to come back. I was like, man, I'm through. I'm not doing this shit, and I saw him with a street dude having a meeting with a street dude. I was like, what's going on over there? Because Rodney, real Christian. Gospel music, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Father's a preacher. And I was like, what's going on over there? And so I told him about it, and he was like, oh, man, you don't know what you're talking about. And then the next day, his jeweler called from New York and said, if you see this dude when you're in Toronto, he got me for, and so now Rodney knew I brought value.
Yeah.
And then we started getting along. And like I said, it was like 3 to 6 months. He taught me a lot about writing. He taught me a lot about work ethic.
So you were in there kind of like an understudy, like an intern, or?
Yeah, I was working. I was at first I was driving.
Okay.
I was driving they just had me driving around and stuff. But then it just became more we got into a lot of different things. Like I listened to Justin Timberlake's album with him. He's like, come on here, listen to this before anybody heard it. So it was like, we became close like that. We talked. He showed me just all the stuff. He'd been mentored by Teddy Riley.
Oh yeah.
So, you see that, but the artists would come in, like Jadakiss was in there, Sheik was in there, Silk the Shocker, like A. Marie.
Silk the Shock got them off-beat rapping there. He was hot though. He was hot back then too.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, you got a Jadakiss story as well out here. I be doing my research. My research, sir. So, tell me about the Jadakiss weed story.
Man, so we're in the studio. They're about to it was Sheik and Jada, and I don't remember who. I think it was Sheik, because Sheik was real cool with me. Uh-huh. But Jada wasn't really cool with me. And at first, I thought, man, why he doesn't like me? Because he wasn't, but Sheik was real cool with me. Somebody asked me to get him some weed. And but they say they want like $600 an ounce weed, so they want that gas. So I was like, all right. So I went and got them gas. I'm talking, Canada got the best weed. So I mean, Canada win all the time. So I went and got him a bag, and I brought it back, and I gave it to Sheik, and Sheik's like this, and Sheik's like giddy, like he loving this shit,
yeah.
like da. And he passes Jada. Jada look at, he said, "Get this shit out of here. Give my money back." I was like, "Oh shit!" But they swear it was $600. It was $600 an ounce weed, but he didn't like it, so they didn't take the weed.
Jada wanted some of that mid.
Jada
wanted that mid. He wanted that good old. He wanted that good old New York mid, boy. He wanted some shake.
Jada like, get this out of here. I don't want what the fuck is this shit?
But it was gas. He missed on some gas.
Jada didn't want the gas. Jada wanted some mid, man. That's the headline right there. Jada Kiss wanted mid. Studio session. Oh man.
I just felt like he didn't like me.
So, like I said, man, it's just legendary. It's almost like Forrest Gump. Where in Forrest Gump, he's just living his life, and he's just around all of this greatness or whatever, totally oblivious to it, right? He goes, and it's like that's what seems like your kind of life stories. Is like, hey man, I just end up in these places with these people, and they turn out to be.
It was a bit of a gift and a curse, though.
Okay, talk to me.
Well, shit, like with Rodney, I thought Rodney was just gonna put me on. I thought that was how I was gonna be a star. Like when the last conversation I had with Rodney. He was giving me three beats. And, his beats were going for $100,000 at the time. He said, "Look, I'm gonna give you these 3 beats. I need you to get with this engineer, do the 3 beats, and then we're gonna go from there." And literally, I never talked to him after that. And we've been together. And I'm not blaming him. He got busy. He went back to LA, all that stuff. But me as a young kid, I was thought everything was gonna get done for me.
Wow.
So I didn't really I didn't put my heart and soul. I didn't pursue it like I eventually learned how to do. I was sitting back waiting for other people to do it, waiting for other people to put me on. So it was a bit of a gift and curse. Like I said, I got great experiences, but probably cost me some years in my career because I didn't know how to push like that.
Brother, you're still here, sir, so you're doing something right. Yeah. And you're on the Ugly Money Podcast. Right. I can speak of a missed experience, too, by somebody that you spoke about earlier. And I've never told this story on my podcast. I don't think I've told the story to anybody. Oh, man. It still hurts me to this day. Charlie Boy.
Ooh.
I had a song in 2008, 2007, 2006, between 2006 and 2008. And the name of the song was Bitch, I Look Good. And man, I had that thing moving in my areas. And this is the MySpace days and everything like that. So I never forget, D. Ray Davis, the same guy that got Kanye his deal. D. Ray Davis messages me on MySpace and is like, "Yo, this is a hit song. I can get you a deal." Damn. He had just got, I think this is before he got Kanye's deal. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, yo, D. Ray Davis, I know who you are. I had his number. So we're talking. He's like, "Yo, what you got going on?" I said, "I'm in the military, but I get out in a year." And he's like, "Look, don't do nothing stupid. As soon as you get out the military, we're going to get you signed to Interscope. I got a situation over here." And, had me on the phone, one of the A&Rs from Interscope. And I'm like, bitch, I look good. I'm like, I'm about to be out of here, right? Oh, man, it's funny. It's a crazy story. So about 6 months in, he would check in with me like literally every week. I'm talking to D. Ray Davis. I'm in the barracks room at my military, on Fort Gordon. And I'm talking to D. Ray Davis. I'm like, "Yo, I'm about to be out of here. I'm blowing up. This is crazy." And I never forget when I first heard Charlie Boy's I Look Good.
When you first heard it?
I saw that shit on 106 & Park. It just popped up. No, not the first time. That's the first time I cried about it. I think I heard it on I want to say the radio or something like that, right? And so D-Ray calls me. He's like, "Hey, man, some dude from Texas that got a I Look Good song too, but I don't think it's going to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be good." And I was like, "Yeah." He said, "I wouldn't worry about it. You still good. We'll get you, because at this time, like they already had the situation approved. They was waiting on me to get out the military." Right. And so, man, it's just, this hurts. So, week later, I guess Charlie Boy shot the video. I'm watching 106 & Park. Free and AJ. Yeah, man. Today's new song of the day. Charlie Boy, I look good. Oh my mama, oh my, I look. And I literally, bro, I saw my rap dreams just fade away, bro. I cried in the middle of the barracks. I cried because I knew it was over. Mm-hmm. I called that same day. I called D-Ray Davis, and D-Ray, if you see this, that's me. Yeah. Had a different name back then. I called D-Ray. I was like, yeah, bro, man, it just hit 106 in Park. He's like, yeah, bro, look, it's looking bad, man. But I can tell you what, hey, man, you get another record, hit me back. Mm-hmm. I never talked to D-Ray again.
That's crazy.
I never talked to him again, bro. And I hated Charlie Boy for a long time. I hated Charlie Boy for a long time, and I pray. I'm not sure if he knew me or not, but in my mind, I'm like, this nigga took my song.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I actually had an opportunity to meet him when he came to Augusta. We did a commercial together, and we shook hands and everything like that. But I hated Charlie Boy for a very long time. Charlie Boy, thank you, man. You fucked up my deal. But I never talked to D-Ray again. But it was a lesson learned. And guess what? We're here now.
Right. Look where you're at.
We're
now.
still here. And I don't know if I got more money than Charlie Boy. Goddamn it, I ain't broke. So, and I still look good. Shouts out to Charlie Boy though, man. I real talk. Hey, did you get some Engorge Rejuvenation tea yet? If you really want to please her, if you really want to give her that pressure, if you really want to have that power, then you definitely want to pick up some Engorge Rejuvenation tea. All natural male supplement promoting endurance, stamina, libido, and size. Because size matters, right? Yes. Of course. So go to Engorge.com and get yours today. What are you waiting for? Get out of her DMs and never mind. It's that ugly money. So we're staying in the legendary. That's my story time for today. So we're staying in the legendary lane. You met DMX.
Yeah, at the same time, like when Dame was there, when we were doing that stuff, he was in town shooting one of them crazy movies. And X, he was crazy. Like he was the dude. Like on Monday they have like a 6 a.m. call. He'll show up Wednesday.
Whoa.
Yeah, whatever that movie. I can't remember the name of that movie right now. But
so he was acting like the typical rapper.
Nah, yeah, but like the crazy, like they couldn't find him. So he shows up. We're shooting Paid in Full in the projects in Regent Park in Toronto, and he shows up in a drop top, like I don't know, drop top 6'4" or something like that.
Yeah. He
shows up, gets out, and he just comes over. And X was the kind of like he didn't really pay attention to anybody. Like you go right to Dame.
Okay.
But for whatever reason, he always treated me like a star. Like he always came and say what's up to me. He'd see me in the
DMX
club.
showed you love.
Always. It was weird. Like what I'm saying? Like I walk in the club, he'd walk over and say what's up, and I'm like, that's strange. Yeah, exactly how we talk in real life. Exactly how we talk. So this kid, this little chubby kid, he's probably like 10 years old in the projects. He comes over to DMX, and X is standing there talking to Dame, and he comes over and he says, "Hey, can I have your autograph?" And DMX just turned to him and said, "Little boy, don't talk when grown folks is talking." And the kid, so you think the kid would get scared, right?
Yeah.
So the kid was like, all right. And the kid left, and X just go back to his conversation over there. And he looked behind, the kid gets in the 6'4", and he's jumping around like this. He's like, fuck you. Everybody just started dying. Little 10-year-old kid. He's like, fuck you, in the car. So that's
Shouts out DMX. So DMX is, a lot of these people, their perceptions are actually valid. Like, they act like we would think they would act.
I mean, that's who I like. I like real people.
Yeah.
And X, maybe, I mean, he was exactly as you saw him. That's how he was, and he was unapologetic for it.
That's dope, man. Long live DMX, man. Yeah. Long live the dog. Hey, yo, Freek. Yo, where do we at? Now, you've been in the studio with your favorite rapper before. Now, I'm trying to figure out which one of these people is your favorite rapper.
And my favorite rapper growing up was Silk.
Silk the Shocker.
Yeah. I love that
Silk the Shocker, goddamn off-rapping ass.
Correct. I don't know why he was my favorite. I don't know why.
Silk the Shocker was Blueface before Blueface became.
Right.
Every Detroit rapper in the world got their style from Silk the Shocker.
There you go. There you go.
So talk to me about that, meeting your favorite rapper.
He had a different process. Like when I got in the studio, he had a different process in there. And it was,
I know.
It wasn't what I expected. I appreciated watching it.
I can imagine to be like, all right, cut the beat off. I'm just going to rap. Now take this rap, whatever.
I don't,
put it on top of the beat.
I don't want to really say anything because
man,
if I say some
it's
stuff,
Ugly Money
I'm saying
Podcast,
like
man.
he had his own process,
Yo,
right?
talk
Like,
to me, man. What he did 3 lines,
it was like this. You know, he used to, when I was a kid, he would say stuff like, he'd do like a whole album in a week. But that didn't happen, I don't think.
Nah, he take him forever to get it.
I mean, it wasn't quick. It wasn't quick, but it gave me more confidence in the studio because, you know, at first, when I first started getting in there, I would mess up. I would think I'm, you know, wasting the engineer's time and all this stuff. And to watch his process and how he went through things, it just kind of gave me more confidence to get in there.
So he was extremely slow when it came to recording.
He was, it wasn't fast, And I stayed and watched the whole thing. I didn't leave. Other people, they got up and left. They had stuff to do, but I stayed and watched the whole thing because I'm my favorite rapper. And, I mean, as a person, I like, you know, he was like, you know, he's an athlete, like the hoop and all that stuff. So, you know, he was cool.
Yeah, nigga took longer than they could rap.
It was, hey, but he got it how he wanted to get it, bro.
That shit used to come out hard. I ain't gonna count.
He got it how he wanted
I ain't gonna count,
yeah.
man. Because I remember when I used to, I'm like, man, this nigga suck, man. Me can get on. I know I can get on. But yeah, I mean, I'm talking about he used to come with them hits, but he had that machine behind him too.
And he had that charisma, right? He had the girls love Silk, so that's probably why I like him too.
Goddamn, Silk the Shocker, man. And you know what? I'm pretty sure that I at least bought one of his albums. Silk the Shocker. Shouts out Silk, man. I'm just messing with you, Silk. You still don't rap on beat. You're cool though. He had some hits though. They can't take that away from him.
Right.
So it was it disappointing, or was it just like, yo, man, I'm in here with my favorite rapper? Nah,
because I'm into rap. I'm not, you know, like hip hop is the culture. Like I like rappers, so I don't, you know, to me like Silk made hits. I don't care what you had to do to get a hit. You know, you had all these freestyle dudes that couldn't pay the rent. They were hard. They could, you know, freestyle. They could rap for an hour straight, but they couldn't pay the rent. And Silk had his process, and he had platinum records. I'm more impressed with the platinum records because that's what I like. You know what I'm saying? I like that.
Hey, Silk, you sold more than me, but
right. So you know,
Charlie Boy took me out. Charlie Boy gonna hit his interview and cuss you. I'll be messing with you, Charlie. Cool. Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
It's just like different process. You know, you got to respect everybody's process. Everybody's was different, and his was different. I watched it. I learned a lot from him.
I'm trying to think of the longest I've seen a rapper record a verse in the studio. It would probably have to be TK Kravitz. Shouts out TK. I did a song back in the day with TK Kravitz and Cash, TK and Cash. They had the song Mind Right and 3 times in a row. And I remember TK was in there recording his verse for 2 hours. I'm like, boy, I'm not even sure if I want this song. It came out hard as hell,
right.
Though. But, you know, some people take their time. They cook up slow.
And see, Jada was different. Jada took a little time to write, but when he got in the studio, it was done. You know what I'm saying? Like, he took a little longer to write the verse. Yeah. He got in there and boom.
Yeah, a lot of people say that about Wayne. Like, you know, you pay Wayne $100,000 for a verse and he be done in 15 minutes. You like, damn, this nigga just took my $100,000 for 15 minutes.
So when I was with Rodney, one of the things I wished that they went to New Orleans to be with Wayne and Cash Money. Yeah. I didn't go. And Rodney came back just totally blown away by Wayne. By how he get in the booth, wouldn't write nothing, and just come up with the hardest stuff. It actually, like Rodney actually started doing some gospel rap after that, and he started doing it kind of the same style with Wayne, where he wouldn't get in right, he just get in the booth and do it. But he was like blown away by Wayne.
Yeah, shouts out Weezy, man. Weezy love. Yeah, he probably, because I know Jay-Z was the first one to kind of like coin the phrase of I don't write, but Wayne kind of. I think all of us kind of fought because I stopped writing up there. I'm like, Wayne don't write. He just go in there and just, you know what I'm saying? And I think we kind of took after that. Like, hey man, play the beat. All right, get this line off, get the second line off. You know what I'm saying? Play it back. Okay, cool, and just go as you go. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out Weezy F. Now, the last of my legendary stories, I think at least. You seen Alicia Keys so drunk that you didn't even notice her.
Yeah.
Okay, first and foremost, describe to me Alicia Keys drunk, first and foremost.
No, she wasn't drunk. I was drunk.
You was drunk.
She was sober, yeah.
Oh, so you was so drunk that you didn't even notice Alicia Keys was drunk. Oh, yeah, you got to tell me the story.
So, you know, first of all, you know.
What were you drinking?
All right, we can get to that. So,
okay.
You can't handle it. I was drinking the first experience ever with Incredible Hulks. Ever.
I used to love them.
First experience
that Hennessy and Hypnotic.
What?
ABA, I used to go to Norfolk State on one, boy.
Yeah.
I was hard in the paint with them green Incredible Hulks.
Yeah. So we were in Houston.
Yeah.
And the big homie, he was having a party, Alicia Keys party. And the party was like, everybody was dressed in like suits, and it was like $100 to get in. You know, it was a big party. And so we were at like the regular hotel, like a regular courtyard hotel room, not a big suite, nothing. I'm in there with like 3 or 4 dudes that I hadn't seen in a minute, and Alicia Keys in the room with us, and I did not notice her. Then we went downstairs to the lobby. I'm standing there and people talking to me. She's standing beside me. Didn't notice her. We got to the party. Everybody wearing suits. I got on some jeans and a throwback jersey and some Air Force Ones. They have a fashion show with I walk right through the middle of it. Like just act is crazy. At the end of the next morning, they asked me, they say, you remember Alicia Keys? I was like, no. They were like, what you talking about? She was standing right beside you. I didn't even see her. That's how drunk I was. Crazy night. Incredible hoax.
Incredible hoax. Shouts out Hypnotic. Man. They still make Hypnotic, man. Biz, they still got Hypnotic in the liquor store. Yeah. Bro, that was some of the best shit. Man. That Hennessy and the Hypnotic. I remember the Thug Passion when he put the Alizé in the Hennessy. I think I might have made my first baby on that goddamn shit. I'm incredible. But you know, because the whole thing is like it's all liquor. You thinking like it tastes sweet, but you got Henny, you got like 2 parts Hennessy and another part goddamn Hypnotic. Like that's straight liquor. The whole thing is liquor, man. You be fucked up.
I want no big drinking. That tastes like Kool-Aid, so I kept drinking it. Hey, my partner that was with me, we found him in the bathroom. Passed out in the bathroom that night at the party. So I thought I came off good, not passing that.
So how did you realize that you was partying with Alicia Keys?
Man, I knew it was her party. It was the Alicia Keys party, but I didn't see it. They told me the next day. They were like, what you talking about? She was standing right beside you. And think about how beautiful she is. I didn't even notice her. That's crazy. I was like, man, I need to leave this Hypnotic alone.
Yeah, you need to leave it alone, bro. You might have been able to get in there and work your moves, you know what I'm saying? That you could put that Freek Boi around. Hey. You know what I'm saying? Before Swift, we didn't even talk about goddamn verses with Freek Boi. Oh man, hey man, look. Crazy stories, crazy life, man. Just like I say, man, like the hood Forrest Gump, bro. You just around like a whole lot of greatness at one point in time. Now, with your career, given you're around all this greatness, you're seeing, because one thing about it, back then, a lot of people didn't get to be up close and personal with the game. We were all looking. At least I was looking from home on BET, you know what I'm saying? It seems so far-fetched. And the fact that you're, next to these people and you seeing, oh, this person's famous now, this person's famous now. Like, talk to me about like first, like investing in your craft and really getting into it.
I mean, I thought, really when I first started rapping, it was like it was just a lick. Like, I thought it was gonna be real easy. I was like, literally I went in the studio, I made my first song, was on the radio the next day. And I was like, see, it's as easy as I said it was. Why y'all tripping?
Yeah, that would be easy.
And that, like East Texas, dude, it was going hard. You drive by the car wash, everybody blasting it, you know what I'm saying? Local, it was just easy. And then the next time I had a song on the radio, probably about 6 years later. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I thought it was easy, and I didn't work hard because of that. I waited on other people. I mean, the story of the early years is it was hurdles in front of me, and the hurdles would always stop me. So, sometimes the money dry up, and I was just like, we had a real big song in Toronto, and the dude was about ready to invest a bunch of money, and he got killed. And I was like, what am I gonna do now? And so instead of just pushing, we kind of stopped for a little bit. So, I mean, the advice I can give to young rappers especially is like, don't stop. There's gonna be some hurdles. You gotta push through them, and that's the difference here. Like, shout out to VA Booking. He hooked us up.
Shout out to VA.
Yeah, we had it going pretty good before COVID. Yeah. And then COVID hit, and it kind of just slowed everything down. Yeah. And like in previous times, that would have like crushed me, and I just would have been like, you know what? But we pushed through it. VA stuck with me, and really pushed through it. We made more records, and then when COVID was over and I could travel again, we got back out there.
The thing about this game is. And think about anything in life, you almost don't want it easy though. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's too easy, you don't respect it, like you said before, right? You don't appreciate it. I mean, sometimes you gotta go through some trials and tribulations for it to stick. And plus the fact that you don't want anybody to easily be beside you as far as where you're going in your career. Like I think about it, I'm like, man, I had to work hard to get to where I'm at. Yeah, I'd be kind of pissed if somebody just got them, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I think the people that take the stairs to success versus the elevators always last longer.
Something that someone said to me was like, enjoy the journey, right? And so other people in my situation be like, oh man, like it was about to happen and it didn't happen. And for me, I enjoy the journey. Like look at all the stories we just told. You know, the life I've lived. And like you said, we still here doing it. You know, the record's now hot. Like
Facts.
Everything's going. So at first, like I said, it was a little bit of a lick. I didn't love music, but now, like if nobody's gonna pay me to record, I'm still gonna record.
Facts.
I'm still gonna write songs because I love this. I love the process. I love the creative. I love all of it. So over the journey, I've learned to really love this.
Well, you know, this is the Ugly Money Podcast, and Ugly Money means the process of success. Everything between your first dollar and your first million, that's ugly money. Now, I know there was a time in your life where things seemed like it wasn't going to work out. You've had some ups, some downs, some highs, some lows. Tell me about a time in your life where you fell down and you had to get back up and how you did it.
Well, I mean, when the homie got killed, you know, like I said, he was like the biggest fan. And it was on some dumb stuff, like, you know, I'm not saying it was just dumb. It was out of the blue, and we were just all ready for him to put the money in and take it to the next level. And I didn't handle that very well. We just kind of, you know, backed up from the music and didn't do much for a while. Then recently, like I said, with the COVID, that smacked us right in the face because we were really rolling. We had just come off, you know, VA put together a great like promo tour, and we were hot, and then, you know, it went away. So, but that time, like I said, we pushed through it. So I think the difference is, like I said, I learned, like anything worth it, you got to push through it.
For sure.
You know?
For sure.
Figure out another way.
I felt the same way when Charlie Boy came out with I Look Good.
But look what you did.
Charlie Boy, I got to get you on the podcast. We got to have a talk about that damn record. I still think that nigga stole my song. Hey, man, D-Ray told me, hey, man, call me back when you got another record.
Hey, but check this
that
out.
shit was 15 years ago.
with Charlie, I did the record with Charlie in 14.
Oh, wow.
And guess what record he was pushing at the time was Thick Fine Woman.
Wow.
And that hit this summer. Think about that.
That's crazy.
That song was done back then, and it hit this summer, like 8 years later?
Sometimes sometimes you got to stay on that record.
Crazy, right?
Sometimes you got to just stay the course. Everybody think the record going to pop off the first day.
Took him 8 years with that one.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, I heard a wise man say once, man, you know, an apple, you can plant an apple seed. And if you plant an apple seed in the ground, and you wait a year, nothing happens. And what does a person do? Oh, it must be something wrong with the ground. So they dig the apple seed up and they plant it somewhere else. And guess what? You got to start the process over. Right. What people didn't understand was it takes 5 years for an apple tree to grow. And sometimes you got to leave it in the ground and let it grow a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I think that's both of our careers for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, you know what I'm saying? That apple tree's starting to grow. You know what I mean? We just had to put it in the ground a couple times. You know what I mean? Yeah. And just let it sit there. And you know, but people that, like I say, people that take the stairs and people that actually live life and enjoy the process, they last longer.
No doubt.
You feel what I'm saying? If you had to take the long way up, you got to take the long way down. Mm-hmm. If you took the elevator up, buddy, guess what? You're going to take the elevator right back down.
Yep.
And how many people have we seen in the industry that just shoot up real fast and then, unfortunately, they shoot right back down?
Yeah, and you just wonder how much they loved it too, right? They might have been looking for that lick. They got it and it was out. You know, they had
and goddamn gang licked their ass, boy.
Right. They had the right team around them.
So talk to me about recording in your truck.
Man, so that's just what it was, man. I mean, it was when I did the mixtape with Tight, and I was staying in Toronto. He was in Texas, so he sent me all his stuff, and we didn't have a studio, and shit, we were working. Me and my boy were working a real job. Yeah. And when everybody go, we were still on the clock. We recorded it in the truck. Got it all done. He went to the studio, mixed it, but we recorded it in the truck.
Now, after being on Paid in Full set, working with Ronnie Jerkins, partying with Alicia Keys, all these things that happen in your life, how hard is it to go back to a regular job?
I never really had a regular job. That was this. I mean, that's not really been my thing. I'm always been an entrepreneur. That was like a short period, and I did it just so we really could do that. Yeah. So it wasn't really a regular job. When I started this stuff, I had a regular job, and I hated it. Sure. And that's why I went to, you know, started being more creative and doing things. But I really haven't had too many regular jobs.
I was in the military for 8 years, and even though I appreciate the 8 years that I took in the military, I hated every day of it. I literally dreaded getting up for PTE, and I don't make my bed today because I used to have to make my bed every day in the military. You know, I got a mate. But anyway, you know, I think it's important that people what they do with their lives is something that they would do for free. Right. Basically, if you had a regular job, whatever you do when you get off work, that's what you're supposed to be doing with your life.
Right.
You know, and so, but sometimes that doesn't pay very well starting out. Like, talk to me about like the journey of just the ups and downs and how you stuck through it and stuck to your guns. Like, hey, this is what I'm doing.
I mean, like I said, I've admitted I didn't at first. You know, I would give up on stuff. And then, you know, once the money got a little bit better, like I said, I'm an entrepreneur. I got different streams. And, you know, once the money got better, it became a little bit easier, you know, when you had that money. But when you're struggling, you're just kind of trying to keep your head above water. And that's tough. And that's when you got to have a real good team around you. I was lucky to have some good friends around me, but I didn't necessarily have a good team. So now I feel like I have a real good team.
That's hard, right?
Keep my head up.
I had some good friends around me, but I didn't necessarily have a good team. That's tough. What's something about Freek Boi that nobody knows or people don't know?
Well, see, like when you hear Freek Boi, you're gonna think like you know, Luke or maybe Beat King, something like that.
Trust me, I heard it.
And yeah, I got those records, but I also kind of got the kind of the love records and stuff like that. And if you say what's the one thing about me that people wouldn't expect,
yeah,
I love romantic comedies. I love watching romantic comedies. It's weird as hell, but that's what it is.
This nigga going to see 40 Years of Virgin. This shit.
I love romantic comedies, bro. So it's a different side.
That's dope, though.
I got the love records too, bro. To go with the you know, the Freak Gang records. I got the love records too.
Hey man, you know my favorite romantic? No, it ain't a romantic comedy. You know my favorite chick movie? Twilight. Is that a chick movie? Man, I love that motherfucker.
See, my favorite Love and Basketball.
Oh hell yeah! Oh bro, hold on. We got stories about that.
Yeah.
Hey, Love and Basketball got me through college, sir.
Right.
Sir, let me tell you something. Man. BCU 2001. I'm dating myself. There was a couple of movies that you had to have in your VH, because we still have VHS tapes. Don't worry about it, biz. Mind your business. We still have VHS tapes. So before I left home to go to college, I taped Love and Basketball, Jason's Lyric, and Love Jones on the same cassette tape. Feel what I'm saying? Bro, it never failed. Whenever you put Love and because the thing to do back then was, hey man, come to the dorm, let's watch a movie. Mm-hmm. Bro, by the time they got to halftime,
see?
I had already won the game.
See? That's what I'm talking about.
As soon as Maxwell said, this woman's word, what? The girls get to, oh, I love that song.
See? That's what it is, bro. Right.
Hey, man. You had to have that in your arsenal, man. You had to have, you know what I'm saying? Now, the Jason Lyric was the flower. They had a scene. Goddamn, I think it was Jada Pinkett always getting her ass tore up in the movie. Jason Lyric's the flower scene. The flowers, look, bro. She fucking the nigga in the goddamn in the grass. And while they getting to it, the flowers start growing. I said, baby, you want to see the flowers? He got some dick, she ain't getting no flowers, goddamn it. Hey man, shouts out to romantic comedy.
Jason Lyric made me know I was gonna like Texas.
For sure. No facts, bro. Yeah. That flower scene, sir. That flower is sir. If you've never seen Jason Lyric, I know a younger brother. Oh, you've seen it? You gotta pay attention to the flowers. Next time you got a little pop the Jason Lyric, go on Netflix, go to Jason Lyric. You know, we don't have cassette tapes no more. Netflix, go to Netflix, type in Jason Lyric. Irresistible. She gonna see the flowers, my G. It's just gonna do something to her, dog. Hey man, what can we expect for the future for Freek Boi, man? What's the horizon? What are we looking at?
So we dropping the Ice Ice record with D-Raw. D-Raw out of Houston. Shout out D-Raw.
Shouts out.
Crazy Energy. And we did the record a while ago. We finally shot the video. We were supposed to release it on Friday, but we had some distribution problems, so we're gonna come out next Friday. Okay. But we already had the release party, went to Houston, went crazy. Then on Saturday night we were at Tiger. VA set that up.
Yes, sir.
And so this week we're just kind of pushing that, and then Friday we're gonna drop Ice Ice. Ice Ice, we went with Ice Ice because the legendary Swamp Izzo told me to.
Shouts out Swamp, man.
Yeah, VA set up a dinner. We sat down. He listed some records. Said Ice Ice the one you got to go with. So that's what we're rocking with. D-Raw actually came to Atlanta with me. He been with me the last couple of days. went crazy, and then we just finished shooting a video for Freak Gang with Beat King and Sukiana.
Shouts out Beat King.
So you already know how that video gonna go.
Yeah, I could. Freak Boi and Sukiana on the same record sounds like who boy?
Yeah. So we shot Suki in Atlanta, and we shot with Beat King in Houston.
That's hard.
So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna see how it goes. Is it gonna be another single? We're gonna drop an EP. I'm thinking about dropping an EP with because most of the videos are already shot. You just kind of shoot a movie, and like a 6-song EP with a movie and all the videos.
That's dope, man. You know, one thing I love about Beat King, he is like the most humblest, famous motherfucker in the world, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so we actually recorded at Beat King's house. You know what I'm saying? And he just said, come over, we sit in the living room, recorded the hook, and that was it.
And you know, I think it's genius because he is unapologetically him. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna wear the biggest chain. Or whatever. He gonna wear no chain. He gonna have that damn black T-shirt with something stupid on it.
Right.
And he gonna work his move.
He showed up for the video, no security, no entourage, get to work. And
that's hard, bro.
Yeah, hard.
That's hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and when I remember when I met him, like, he's one of those real people that, you shake his hand, he look you in your eye, like. And then I was surprised that he remembered me. Like, yeah, I remember, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, Beat King is definitely a solid one, and he don't do all that weird rapper shit, man. Shouts out Beat King, man.
And Suki too, though, man. Cause like, when we shot the video,
I never met her.
She was supposed to be there for like 4 o'clock, and her plane got delayed. She was flying in, her plane got delayed, so we pushed the shoot back. And then her plane got delayed again, and then they rerouted her to Charlotte. She didn't get until like 12, bro. And she could have easily just said, I'm not coming. Like, you know what I mean? Like, This has been a long day, I'm not coming. She showed up, got ready, got on set, killed it. I mean, we didn't get out of there till late, but she did her thing. She could have easily just been like, Psh, I'm not doing this song. With, you know what I mean? We could do it another day. But I give her all the respect because she came and got it done.
Shouts out Suki Freaky ass.
Right?
Hey, man. I get a couple more million views, bro. Like, there go Nietzsche, goddamn. He done went in the backwards. Never mind. Hey, man, before we get out of here, man, let them know to follow you at, where they can check you out, where they can tap in with Freek Boi.
Yeah, my original page got hacked, so we on the new page now. Okay. It's Big Freek, big.freak, and Freek is Freek. So Big Freek, we run the numbers back up. So that's where you follow me on Instagram. Same with the TikTok. That's actually the TikTok is Freek Boi SG Inc. So it's really those two platforms. On YouTube, it's Mr. Freaky T. And you see some.
You gotta put that freak in there.
Oh, I'm saying that's the old. So you see some of the old videos. The Southern Girls, Edgar Esteves directed, and he's like the biggest in the game now. I got Johnny Blaze. Me and Johnny go way back.
Oh, man.
Johnny danced to that Southern
Johnny's
Girl.
my sister, man.
So they say, hey, so in Toronto, they talk about who had the first 1 million views on YouTube. And they talk about who did it. I was the first one. I got 2 million views with Johnny Blaze. And you can look at the number's still up there.
How you like that, Soldier Boy?
So I got 2 million views with Johnny.
How you like that, Soldier Boy?
That was back in Johnny's Houston days. So she killed that for me, and I mean, that song was doing great.
Shouts out Johnny Blaze, man.
And the videos still, look good. The 2 models I had in both blew up, both stars now.
Man, you got the Midas touch, man.
Right.
I gotta shake your hand again after this.
Right.
Goddamn, everybody freak around, boy. But I need it.
I wish I was like that with stocks.
Oh, God. Hey, man, you can follow me at Ugly Money Nietzsche. That's Ugly Money Niche. This episode is being brought to you by Engorge Rejuvenation Tea, promoting erection, improving stamina, promote size, increasing size, and boost libido. Go to engorge.com. That's EN-GORG.com to get yours today. All natural male supplements. Shouts out to Shoe Crazy. We've been sipping on this all day. Black owned, triple distilled vodka, wine experience. Follow them at Shoe Crazy Wine. Remember, the bigger the dream, the bigger the risk, the bigger the payoff. This has been the Ugly Money Podcast with Freek Boi.